Aloha kako, o helmet ko'u inoa.
Okabe ko inoa, and welcome to Two
Profs
Profs
and a
and a
Brew.
Brew on the Mala.
What?
On the Mala Garden.
Oh, look at this guy, man.
Yay!
Joining us today is this lovely lilikoi meat. It was made using lilikoi grown right there behind that coop.
It's refreshing not just for your mouth, but for also your soul, because you grew lilikoi right here on the farm, on our Mala, and then you brew it yourself. So, thank you.
And thank you, my brother.
Yeah, thank you. But now we have some homework to do. We have to discuss how Kawaimanomano really impacted our work at Leeward Community College and our outlook there and our contributions at Leeward.
Yeah, so, early on, Kumulelani, she encouraged us to speak Olele Hawaii, and that's always something that's been difficult for me, because you get like this colonizer savior syndrome. It's like, yes, the great colonizer is going to go and save Hawaiian culture, and so I always felt a little shame. But she says, just do it, and it's just do it, try to do it right, and the students will appreciate you for it. And so I took that to heart, and ever since then I start every class with aloha mai kako, and then in lab class I'll say stuff like,
Time to make a gel. Hiki.
and the students respond to stuff like,
Hiki no.
right? And so it's been kind of a fun banter, you're like, yes, mai kai. And I've seen the impact, in my micro lecture class. We do talk about diseases and things like that. And in projects, I've never seen students use olelo as much as they have this year. People say stuff like malama and like aole syphilis and things like that, and whether it's just a thing that happened this year, a coincidence, or whether it's because of this use of Olele Hawaii in all our communications, who knows,
Yeah,
right?
I think it's the integration. For me, chanting that Olelo Hawaii, chanting that Leeward Oli has been just terrific. So I chant it all the time while doing dishes at home. I chant Leeward Oli, and my wife and my daughter, they are really impressed at my Hawaiian skills.
Hey, I heard that when you guys were at Wainaimoku, like you were leading the Oli practice, and that makes me so proud of my brother here to be doing that kind of stuff.
In fact, you got sick, and I was in a way representing you. Somehow, people recommended that, hey, I start leading it, and I'm always ready for, participation. So it was a lot of fun.
Learning the Oli was a major point of emphasis for us. Going in, we thought, oh, every time I hear the Oli, I'm like, how are we ever supposed to learn something like this? And my language skills are quite poor. We have to put in a lot of effort and practice to learn the Oli. But we got through it, right? And so this is actually now this interesting thing where it's like, if we can learn an Oli, you can learn self-respiration.
Exactly. And then Oli is so spiritually uplifting. It is loaded with rich vocabulary, and I'm just looking at it. It just inspires you to learn more about Olelo Hawaii. So in that sense, we are thankful.
Yeah, totally, right?
Yeah.
And so that brings me to my second point. Pikea, she talked about, in many ways, injecting indigenous practices and content. How do we indigenize an institution, right? And one of the things was getting the students to see themselves in the lessons. Right? I learn about myself, I learn about me as we're learning the lessons. And so there's this movement to indigenize the institution. I always felt like outside of that, right? But being part of Kawaimanomano, it's kind of made us a part of indigenizing as we're learning the culture, as we're, we are now professional chanters. I'm sorry, don't cancel us, please. Rather than being, apart from that, just like outside observers.
Yeah. But for me, one of the saddest things was these outsiders came to Hawaii. The fact that they came and they tried to wipe out the language and culture is pretty sad. As an immigrant myself, I sometimes feel at loss when I have to speak English with my children. They understand simple conversational Nepali, but they really cannot speak. But this is really different for Hawaiian people, because for Kanaka Maoli, if the language and culture is lost here, they have nowhere to go. Me or my children, we can go back to Nepal and learn about the language, which is thriving there. But for Kanaka Maoli, they have nowhere to go. So in that sense, I'm really inspired by the fact that we are trying to revitalize the language and the culture. So, and you and I, outsiders, we are part of it.
Well said, Kavi. Well said, Kavi. And so that brings us to our favorite Hawaiian phrase, Okole Maluna, or bottoms up.
Awi ho!
Yes.